Joining us now on the John Fredericks Radio Network is retired Special Ops Commander Jason Van Camp. He's a former Green Beret and Bronze Star recipient, and he's going to give us his take here on the, changes in the chain of command in the Navy, especially the acting Navy Secretary Modley apologized. Now he's resigned. The Captain Crozier writing a 5-page single-spaced letter. I'm not sure how he had time for that when he's commanding a $12 billion ship, but he did. He sent it to the media and went around protocol. Modley fired him. Now he's resigned. Trump's involved in it. What a mess. Let's get the take here from Jason Van Camp. Hey, Jason, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show. It's an honor to be here. Great.
Well, thanks, Jason, and thanks for all you've done. So what happened here, Jason?
Okay, so I'm looking at everything that's going on, and I really feel like where we're at is we need to exercise patience. This is an act of patience right now. So acting Navy Secretary Modley, he was upset that Captain Crozier, went around him. He usurped the chain of command, right? I read the letter that Captain Crozier sent out. It was a Department of the Navy memo. It was 5 pages, right? It was well articulated. It was well said. He basically put a request for assistance in response to COVID-19. Fantastic. He's putting the lives of his soldiers and the sailors above his own, which is what all great leaders should do, right? The problem is he sent it to people. Who did he send it to, right? President Trump is saying he copied too many people and it was leaked. Well, if Captain Crozier sent this to the San Francisco Chronicle and the New York Times, well then, yeah, that was the wrong move. That was unprofessional. It was a bad decision. However, if he set it up his chain of command and somewhere along the line it got leaked, well, then that's not his fault. And so the question really is, who did he copy? Who did he send this to? And until I find that out, I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm going to be patient until I find out that information. Now Secretary Modley, he made a bad move on his own accord as well, on his own volition. He went to the ship and he told the crewmen, listen, your captain made a terrible decision. I don't think he's not even stupid. He sent this letter with the intention of getting out into the public domain to draw attention to you guys. It's the mission of the ship that matters. You know this. Your captain is wrong. Your captain lost sight. He compromised critical information. Okay, well, that whole crew loves that captain. Captain Crozier is beloved by his crew. I saw when he left, they were chanting his name. So going to the ship and bad-mouthing, demeaning, demonizing Captain Crozier in front of his crew, you just don't do that. That's leadership 101.
Why did Modley do that?
He was angry, in my opinion. He felt like he was disrespected from Captain Crozier, and maybe he has information that we're not aware of, that we're not privy to right now, and he decided to, express his emotions. And when you're a leader, especially when you're a leader at that level, you can't afford to be emotional like that.
So what do you think Modley should have done? Modley, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I feel like he should have, if he wanted to go to the ship, it wasn't necessary for him to do so, but if he wanted to go to the ship, he could have gone there and just been very professional about it and said, listen, guys, we know you love the captain, and we felt like it was imperative to remove him, and here's why. I'm not going to say he's a bad guy. I'm not going to say what he did was wrong or right. I'm just going to say this is what happened. These are the facts. This is why we did what we did, and I request that you remain disciplined and back your chain of command up in every way. And I think if he would have done that, he would have got a better response.
We're with retired Special Ops Commander Jason Van Camp, a former Green Beret, also a Bronze Star recipient. Jason's new best-selling book, Deliberate Discomfort, has him front and center on leading media outlets nationwide. Well, he's on our show, right? That's credibility there enough. So you can buy his book, Deliberate Discomfort, right? Only the big names come on the John Fredericks Show. You can buy Deliberate Discomfort at Amazon or your favorite bookstore, but you can't go into your local bookstore on Main Street because, well, the government has put them out of business for the time being. Now, Jason, let me ask you this. this immediately became a political football, like everything does in Washington, right? So jumping immediately on it, Democrat Adam Smith, he's the chairman of the Armed Service Committee, Representative Do Nothing Elaine Loria of Virginia, herself a former Navy commander. I commend what she did in the armed services as a congressperson. She absolutely is dreadful. She does nothing. She's a Pelosi sycophant. They've both called for acting Secretary Modley's firing in the wake of the comments, and yesterday he just resigned, the president accepting his letter of resignation. Why is something like this political? Is it all because they just hate Trump because he got involved in it? Why is this even covered by the politicians?
It's frustrating to think about, what people will jump on for politics to move the needle just a little bit. So, yeah, number one, I think they're waiting for Trump to respond to this, and then whatever decision he makes, a lot of times they're just going to say the opposite.
Exactly.
And, and just try to stir the pot a little bit and incite rage and everything. When I look at it, there were mistakes all around. Mistakes by Captain Crozier, mistakes by Modley. And President Trump right now, he's basically saying what I'm saying is, hey, let's reserve judgment. I'm going to get some more information, find out what's going on, and then I'll make a decision. And like I said, what it comes down to is who did Captain Crozier copy on this email? Who did he send it to? Was it leaked intentionally? It's frustrating because, these politicians, they want to, incite outrage and get people to be offended at almost every turn. And that's not how we grow as a society. That's not how we learn and improve and move forward and grow stronger as a country, especially in the COVID-19 pandemic.
So what happens now?
Let's be patient. Let's sit back. Let's wait. Let's hear what the information that comes out. Find out who this Captain Crozier sent the information to, and if we find out that he, in fact, went around his chain of command intentionally, and granted, for the good of his soldiers, not for himself,
right.
Whatever decision he made. Okay, great. And find out who he sent this to. And if
right.
he sent it to the New York Times, the San Francisco Chronicle, hey, man, that was a bad move. You shouldn't have done that. And granted, to put the safety of your crew above your career, you didn't want your soldiers to die, but also, only 150 have tested positive on your ship, right? Including yourself. There's no deaths. Not even one person has been hospitalized. So let's wait and let's listen.
Well, you know what? I agree with you. I think if Captain Brett Crozier sent this to the media himself, and I think the president alluding that he made 28 copies or sent it to 28 people. I mean, if it got sent to, San Francisco Chronicle, L.A. Times, Washington Post, New York Times, then I think the firing was probably justified. I mean, you can't do that, right? I mean, that would be that would be like commanders in Vietnam or during the Second World War when Patton was doing something, commanders leaking memos to the media. I mean, you would have complete chaos, right? You can't operate that way in the military. So I guess we'll see. Court's out.
You're absolutely correct. It would
Court's
show
out.
that he had no faith in his chain of command, and you can't operate if that's the case. So, absolutely.
All right. We're out of time. I want to thank you for your time. Jason, thank you for being with us. Retired Special Ops Commander Jason Van Camp, former Green Beret, Bronze Star recipient. And you want to buy Jason's new book, just out. It's bestseller, Deliberate Discomfort. Deliberate Discomfort. You can get it on Amazon or your favorite bookstore. Hey, Jason, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.